So we talk about the get guess. What did we need? What did we use? Or what was required to actually run get guess? Obviously, we have over here a whole bunch of things. We didn't see what happened every time the letter was validated, right? A validated letter was either a letter that um, was a single letter, um, it was not guessed already, and it was actually in fact in the alphabet. So that's a validated letter because that's how the missed letters and the correct letters make up the all guesses. So from here, then, what is important to know, to have over here, so this can actually run. And remember, the idea behind functions is true that it's for organizing the code, actually organizing your logic and all the stuff, but it's also to reuse it. And I'm hoping that you can use a lot of the stuff that is in Hangman in the Wheel of Fortune. So over here, it's much more complex than this. And I took just exactly what I needed, meaning I have a counter because I know how many times I want to run this while loop, which is only contained to this specific part of it. I have the all guesses because every time I have a letter that could be belonging, either one should be included in there. And then if it is in the secret word, meaning if we go back over here, like for example, we have a whale over here. Is this whale? Yes. So if the letter was in whale, then that letter should be added to what we call the correct letters. And here it is. And here's the, you guessed right. You guessed right was, where's the guess right? We don't have it. Oh, you guessed right over here. Right, because I'm printing a few things so we can actually see how it develops little by little into the missed letters, correct letters, and secret word is always the same. But these two change. The display board needs those three arguments so it can display what we see, right? But we also need the wrong letters, the missed letters. And that's why if this is not in the secret word, we want it as part of the missed letters so we can build the actual hangman. So as you can see, it's very noisy here. So if the length of the missed letters is less than or equal to whatever we have over here, which remember, if we look over here, okay, each of these elements or items of the list is one of the sequence, one of the images in sequence, right? Every time there is a missed letter, the next one and the next one will be printed display. So we need the missed letters so we can display the correct picture in the list of Hangman pictures. So how does this work over here? Let's take a look. There is something that we need to look at. Here. All right, so I want to see how missed letters, correct letters, and print sequence over here is. Let's take a look. Let's do it one more time. Maybe it should show us over here. Let's say A. There. So T, if we look at this line over here, the printing letter, this is coming from here. So technically, we're only going to see this when we guess right. It would be good to have also, we have it right here too, right? Let's do that. Let's put it right here. I think it would be good right in here. Sometimes I even put a little bit of a message over here, like something to keep track of where it's coming from. And this one will actually be 1. This is the way I like to do my own debugging. Sometimes I don't even call it debugging, I call it diagnostics. So I'm gonna redo this. Let's run it again. And we're just gonna talk about it for just a couple of minutes. So we have, let's try it again. Let's do a recap of what we did before. And let's try all different possibilities over here. Let's start with the good one, W. So you guess right. This is coming from 1 because 1 is when you guess right here. And you're going to have, there are no missed letters, it's blank. You have the correct letters, which is W, and then you have the secret word. And then it goes to the display board over here. And that's when it does that interesting way of putting the letters in the right place, which we already talked about that, right? That was the second Hangman, which was Hangman 1. So let's go back over here, and now let's do the wrong letter. The wrong letter could be a T. So it is. So now we have this, the message is coming from 2 right here. There's 2. So the missed letter is T. Remember before we didn't have anything over here. And now we have a T. We have the correct letter. So we have 1 and 1, and then the secret word. And of course, since we have a miss, we have over here the next picture. And here is, this is part of what the display board does, right? The guess letter is coming from getguess. So right now it's back over here again. And now one more time, let's play with this part and let's try how this is validated. We can try it in uppercase, like for example, let's try a good one. What was the whistle? An E. So that's an uppercase. It turned into a lowercase, and it belongs, it's a correct letter, and it found the locations of each of them, right? And it terminated because, the reason why it terminated is because we ran it in quite a number of times. I should have made it, what did I do, 3? Yeah, okay, let's do it one more time then. I promise this is the last one. I was trying to keep it short. Okay, so there we go. Fox. Oh, that should be super fast. So I'm not gonna do again the guess, although I can't help myself. So here's 1, nothing for here because it was correct. Now we're gonna try something different in which we're gonna get both the 2, and then we have the missed letter, the correct letter, the secret word, and now we're gonna guess uppercase, which is the O. It turned it into a lowercase, and it counted as correct letter. It's in the right place. And now let's try to mess it up a little bit by doing something that is going to be rejected. For example, 2 letters. We can say EE, and it's going to give you that message. This one right here. All these conditions are very important. And when you test your program, you need to test all the conditions work. So we didn't leave yet the guess. It's going to stay here until one of those 2 things happen, which is missed letter or correct letter. So now let's try to trigger this message over here. You have already guessed that letter. So I'm going to pick F, right? Because that would be something that's already picked. And there it is. You have already guessed the letter. So it didn't leave this while loop yet. And now I'm going to try to trigger, please enter a letter. So I'm going to put something like a special character, I don't know, like this. And there it is. Please enter a letter. So when does it leave this area? When does it leave the function? That's what you should be asking. When does it return back to the call? Remember, this function was called right here. This is where it's coming from. And it has to come back here. So when does it exit this function? It has to return. Where the return is, that's the exit. Meaning none of these things were true. meaning we have one character. It is it's not in the already guess, and it's not, I'm sorry, and it is in the alphabet. So that means that we can put over here something that is there. And I think it's going to finish it up too, right? There you go. Now, if I had the fully finished program over here, it would have said it's done. But I remember I just took exactly what I needed to discover what this code is doing. I hope this helps.